You say you want to change your life. You talk about success, about greatness, about leaving a legacy that people will remember. But let me ask you something raw and uncomfortable. Are you really willing to suffer for it? Or are you just addicted to the idea of success because it sounds good, feels good, and looks good on Instagram? You've been lied to. You've been sold a version of success that's sexy, aesthetic, and filtered to perfection. But the truth is dirty. It's unglamorous, it's lonely, and it requires something most people will never give: total, painful, uncomfortable transformation. And it all starts with your mindset. Forget luck, forget talent, forget the idea that some people are just built different. The only real separator between the people living the life you dream of and you is how they think when the world punches them in the face. The 1%, they don't ask, why me? They ask, what now? They don't wait to feel ready. They don't need motivation to move. They've trained their mind to move without asking for permission. When it hurts, they lean in. When it's boring, they stay focused. When it's hard, they show up anyway. This isn't inspiration. It's rewiring. It's brutal mental conditioning. And it's the price of admission to the life you say you want. Everyone has 24 hours, but not everyone uses them the same. You spend 3 hours scrolling TikTok. They spend 3 hours building skill sets that'll pay them forever. You binge Netflix to escape. They study markets, they read, they build. It's not about having time. It's about taking responsibility for your time. You're not too busy, you're just prioritizing comfort. And you're hoping that someday success will magically appear, wrapped in luck and good vibes. Wake up. You're living someone else's dream if you're not fiercely building your own. That 1% mindset, it doesn't wait for opportunity. It creates it out of the scraps everyone else throws away. Here's the truth no one tells you. Motivation is a liar. It shows up when things are easy. It disappears the second things get hard. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. It doesn't care about your feelings. It shows up because it's supposed to. You think the people at the top love the grind every day? They don't. But they do it because they've trained themselves to value growth over pleasure. Discipline is the real flex. Discipline is what separates the ones who talk from the ones who live it. So next time you're not in the mood, do it anyway. Because that moment, when you act despite resistance, that's when you take ground. Everyone wants to grow, but no one wants to suffer. Let me break this down clearly. Growth lives inside pain. Progress is buried inside resistance. You're not supposed to enjoy the struggle. You're supposed to endure it and evolve. Think about a muscle. You tear it down so it can rebuild stronger. Your mindset is the same. You have to get uncomfortable. You have to fail, embarrass yourself, get rejected, be misunderstood, and still keep going. The problem is, most people run the second it gets hard. That's why most people stay average. The 1%, they stay in the fight longer. They're not tougher by birth. They're tougher because they refuse to quit when it hurts. It's never the big decision that changes your life. It's the thousands of tiny ones no one sees. Wake up or snooze, read or scroll, gym or couch, build or binge. Every choice you make is a vote for the person you're becoming. You don't become disciplined all at once. You become disciplined choice by choice until it becomes your identity. People underestimate this. They think it has to be dramatic. They want to go all in and burn out in a week. The 1% win because they do small things with ruthless consistency. And those small choices add up to massive power over time. You can't hit a target you can't see. And most people are walking around blind. No aim, no vision, no direction. You ask them what they want, and they say, I just want to be successful. What does that even mean? You need specifics. You need measurable goals. You need a vision so clear it makes you emotional just thinking about it. When the 1% wake up, they don't drift. They move with purpose. They know what their day looks like. They know what they're building toward. And every action either fuels it or gets cut. Clarity equals power. Vagueness equals wasted energy. And you can't afford to waste any more time on vague dreams. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to save you. There is no mentor, no course, no podcast that will do the work for you. That's on you. You can either keep waiting for the perfect moment, or you can realize that the perfect moment is the one you create by taking action now. Waiting is a lie your fear tells you. It whispers, just a little longer, maybe tomorrow. But tomorrow turns into next month. Next month becomes next year. And suddenly you're stuck watching other people live your dream while you make excuses for why you haven't even started. The 1% move without permission. They don't need validation. They don't need applause. They need action, and they take it relentlessly. Most people fear failure, but the 1%, they chase it, because they know failure is a signal, not a stop sign. Every time you fail, you're learning something most people are too afraid to discover. You're sharpening your edge. You're gathering feedback that success could never teach you. The 1% fail more than you, but not because they're worse than you, because they try more than you. You fail once and retreat. They fail 20 times and adjust. Success doesn't come from avoiding failure. It comes from collecting enough data to win. Fail. Distraction is the death of destiny. You want to know why you're not getting ahead? Because you're too busy consuming instead of creating. You're letting people who haven't done what you want to do shape your mindset. You're watching people live lives you could build, but instead of studying, you're envying. The 1% don't just protect their time. They protect their focus like their life depends on it, because it does. They don't scroll through endless content looking for motivation. They become the source of it. They don't chase a dopamine hit. They chase results. You have to starve your distractions and feed your discipline. Otherwise, you'll live your life watching people do what you're capable of, while you stay stuck in self-inflicted noise. You've got reasons, right? You didn't grow up with money. You didn't have support. You've got anxiety, bills, trauma, responsibilities. So does everybody else. The 1% aren't special. They're just honest. They don't lie to themselves to feel better. They rip the Band-Aid off and say, this is what it is. What am I going to do about it? Excuses are seductive. They make you feel safe. They justify your comfort, but they steal your future. You can have results or excuses, not both. You either find a way, or you'll spend the rest of your life finding a reason why you never did. The 1% mindset is lonely, because most people will never understand your obsession. They'll laugh at you, call you crazy, mock your routines, say you're doing too much. But the truth is, they're projecting. Because when you start leveling up, you become a mirror showing them their own laziness. They'd rather tear you down than level themselves up. That's not your problem, it's theirs. You have to walk alone long enough for the right people to recognize your path. Don't water yourself down to fit in with the crowd you're trying to outgrow. You weren't born to be liked. You were born to lead. And sometimes that means walking alone. You don't rise to your goals, you fall to your systems. Your success isn't in the vision board or the dream journal. It's in what you do when no one's watching. Do you wake up on time, or do you negotiate with the alarm? Do you show up when it's hard or only when it's exciting? Do you do the boring stuff with intensity? Because that's where greatness lives, in the boring, brutal, repetitive grind. The 1% treat routines like rituals, sacred, focused, non-negotiable. Your habits are the clearest evidence of what you really want. So take a hard look. What are you rehearsing every day? Excuses or excellence? Not in a toxic, burn everything down way, but in a locked-in, laser-sharp, nothing else matters until this is built kind of way. The 1% aren't lucky. They're possessed by their purpose. While you're dabbling in 10 different things, they're going all in on one. While you're hoping to find time, they're creating it. Their dream is not an option, it's a mission. And they treat it like it's life or death. You want to win? Then you need to get uncomfortably obsessed with mastery, because the top doesn't accept half effort. The 1% don't just take responsibility. They take ownership. Complete, brutal, unapologetic ownership. They don't say, it's not my fault. They say, it's still my responsibility. No blaming, no complaining, no waiting. Everything is theirs to manage. Their results, their attitude, their energy, their growth. The second you own everything, you unlock a power most people never experience. Because once it's all on you, you stop hoping, you stop waiting, and you start building like your life depends on it, because it does. This entire mindset, it's not a one-time event, it's a lifestyle, a system, a new identity. No one drifts into the 1%. You don't stumble into greatness, you build it deliberately, with discipline, with action, with sacrifice. And you repeat that process until your results can't be ignored. This isn't about being superhuman. It's about choosing to do what 99% won't, every single day. No more "I'll try," no more "I hope," no more waiting on the right time. Right now is the only time you're guaranteed. So decide, do you want to change your life? Or do you just like talking about it? Because if you're serious, it starts today. With one brutal choice, to stop being like the rest. You say you're hungry, you say you want more, then prove it with your actions, with your discipline, with your refusal to quit. No more excuses, no more waiting, no more weak words. Burn the old version of yourself and become someone who doesn't need to be told what to do anymore. Because you already decided you're part of the 1% now. Welcome to the grind. Now get to work.